For your News at 6, I'm Siobhan Bryant.
And I'm John Carter. And there are conflicting reports tonight regarding Operation Charlotte's Web. The Department of Homeland Security says it is still in effect, but city leaders tell us the federal operation is complete.
The immigration crackdown has been in effect now since last weekend, and tonight DHS says they've made close to 400 arrests since Saturday. We've shown you dozens of videos like this since then, showing some of those arrests.
As Operation Charlotte's Web comes to an end, its impact could be felt for some time, especially on businesses that either made the tough decision to close or those who lost employees during the operation, halting their businesses. Well, we're digging deeper into the impact of CBP in Charlotte. WBTV's Natisha Lance spoke to a business owner who doesn't know how long it's going to take to recover from the loss.
And when we spoke to them this afternoon, they said they felt some relief that the operation could be over, but they also feel uneasy about the impact it's had on the community and their business. A typical Thursday inside Deluxe Paint and Body Works in West Charlotte is busy.
Usually you hear clank.
Okay, so just wanted to see what's going on and kind of give an initial reaction here. So operations for Border Patrol are still ongoing in the Operation Charlotte's Web within Charlotte. I do know that, just by going out and just speaking to, certain folks who live in certain other areas of North Carolina, that those operations have spread into other cities, kind of quietly, not getting as much media coverage as the Charlotte operation. I know Raleigh, in anywhere in between from like High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. These operations haven't been getting as much notoriety as the Charlotte operation, but they are, different. There are different operations that are going on within North Carolina, and North Carolina is a pretty big state. So I do expect the news to start trickling in, or social media reactions to start trickling in, especially on platforms like TikTok. And now they're speaking on the impacts that it's going to have on certain businesses that may have or may not have been employing individuals who are not documented and who have came over to the United States illegally. So typical work is typical, like construction, automotive work, any type of house repair. These are typical jobs that maybe even highway work. All those like hard hat type jobs. You would typically see some of these individuals working, and we're gonna get one of the shop owners' opinions on what's going on in the current state as far as their business and how it's impacting them.
Making sounds, maybe welding, a welder, someone lifting up something on the lift.
But today,
It's a ghost town.
the shop is quiet. Laisha Marquez helps to manage the family business she grew up in with her dad. She says the shop became empty when word spread Customs and Border Patrol agents would be in Charlotte.
A lot of people that work here are scared, not because of their status, but because of the fact that they could get racially profiled and taken.
And it's not just employees who have gone silent. Business coming in has also come to a near halt, forcing the shop to lose about a quarter of its normal revenue, which could become detrimental to the business.
I've been in business for 18 years, and this is the first time that we actually experienced something like this.
The situation has left Marquez feeling like a target in a place he calls home. He's now considering leaving the country, but until then, he wants his community to stand strong.
Let's be honest, he's not going to leave the country. He's not going to leave the country. And especially with him having a business that's been in business in the United States for over 18 years, he's not in any type of situation where he's a part of the illegals, individuals who are not documented to be here. he has his own business here. So, that's just saying something, just to say something, trying to stand a solidarity with, his customer base, and then people that, may be illegal that work for him. Um, I get it as far as being racially profiled. I mean, being racially profiled several times in my life, so I get it. But I would never let that stop me from going to work. I'm never letting that stop me from earning for my family, especially if I'm documented and I'm a citizen here. That type of stuff would never, ever, ever, ever stop me from grinding. Um, so I mean, I get it, but like I say in previous videos, man, I feel like there's a lot of people who want to take on the victim card and stuff like that, and it's very, very clear who the border patrol is after. They made it clear. They said it, countless times, and you still have individuals who don't even fit that description of what they're looking for, um, saying, hey, I don't want to be racially profiled, or hey, I'm, going back, I'm leaving the country. But come on, man, you have a business established here. One thing you really need to do is just comply with the operations and what's going on, and eventually those operations are gonna be over, and you can get back to business. I'm gonna just play another video here. It's about the border patrol spreading from Charlotte into the North Carolina foothills, and
Video at
let's see
5:30
what they
shows
say.
Border Patrol agents in the foothills. We got this from a viewer of agents, this viewer says, detaining somebody in a parking lot on Highway 321 in Lenoir. Our Dave Faraday is live in Catawba County. In days, some of the business there believe that Border Patrol could be heading up there in force next.
Well, I've already gotten several reported sightings, Scott, along Highway 70 here in the Hickory area, just 24 hours after sheriff deputies told us that they possibly could be coming to Catawba County, but not before going to Lenoir first. U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents were first seen in the parking lot of Walmart in Lenoir. Then agents took 4 people into custody at the American Motel on Wilkesboro Boulevard. This woman, who was in the parking lot, asked us not to show her face. She says those workers had been picking up trash along Highway 321.
I was just mind blown because we always see things like this happen on the internet and on the news, but we never really thought that it was going to come to our.
All right, so I didn't want to really interrupt what she was saying, but like I said, there's spreading this operation out. There's a lot of small towns and smaller cities around North Carolina to where illegal immigrants can go and be within the shadows, not have too much attention on them. And it looks like Border Patrol is also spreading into those areas. And I know the young lady definitely didn't want to show her face because as you see, she has a rosary on, not to profile anybody or anything, but we know she definitely could be of Hispanic heritage. Um, and like everyone says, if if you have documentation stating that you are a U.S. citizen, if you're going through the process to become a U.S. citizen, then you're welcomed here. Um, you would not be detained. You would not be put in the process of having to see an immigration judge and going through that whole process because you're here legally. They're looking for people who are not here legally, and that's the operation. Now they did say that some individuals were detained, like around like a motel or whatnot. And those individuals were doing, like I said, hard hat jobs, things that a lot of other folks don't want to do. They were going around picking up trash and just, trying to earn a living doing that, which, we have no issue with. The issue is, are you here and are you doing this work legally? Yeah, I mean that's the issue. I'm gonna let her continue. I'm sorry that I kind of broke there, but I kind of want to speak before I kind of lost that thought.
Community.
Workers at the Google construction site in Lenoir say CBP agents also showed up there An hour later, a viewer shared these photos from a Taco Bell that is being remodeled along Highway 321 in Hickory, but we do not know if any workers were arrested there. In Northeast Hickory, more than half of the workers at this construction project failed to show up for work this morning. The ones who did asked to stay anonymous.
I guess it's scared. They're scared because all the situation is around here, so it's why they want to stay home.
In Newton, several businesses are closed over concerns about Border Patrol coming to Catawba County. This food store reopened this morning, but many of their customers stayed away.
Some of them are not going out, and then of course those that have kids that are able to go out or are doing the grocery shopping for them.
John Grindle is a veteran and was disappointed that many of the Hispanic businesses now have these signs on their doors.
I heard the parking lot. I'm like, really? This stuff is going on that has them so afraid they have to put a sign on their door. They shouldn't have to do that.
And I agree. I agree. Especially for businesses and establishments who they shouldn't have anything to worry about as far as them being detained or anything like that. It's just like it's very unfortunate that it seems like even when you clearly state what the message is, everyone is trying to feel targeted or feel like a victim when everyone is not in that same pot. Everyone is not they're not looking for everyone of Hispanic heritage and saying, well, we're rounding everybody up and we're going to send you back to wherever you came from. That's just not it. That's just not it. And like I said, I know a lot of people, have loved ones and stuff like that they care about who may be here illegally. My thing is assist them with getting legal status. Then none of this will be an issue. That's the part that I don't hear anyone speaking to. I just hear everybody just really against it. Everything that's going on, but we're trying to get a hold on what's going on here in America. And as I was saying, a lot of these individuals work on construction sites, places where you can get paid under the table, and that's the places that they're targeting. So we'll see what I'll keep updating on this subject, because this has been a very, very popular topic, especially here in North Carolina, and we'll see what becomes of this. And if you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Again, this is Justin Paul. Peace.